You ready? Let's go. Okay. We have the ingredients for pizza dough here. I'll walk you through that. We have some ground lamb, and then I have a bunch of different veggies that we just had in the house that we're gonna put as the toppings, and we'll chop them up. I have a little bit of marinara sauce. I have mozzarella cheese and some spices, black pepper, curry, thyme, onion powder, garlic powder, ketchup, of course. This is Persian pizza. You need ketchup, and mustard. I don't know where I learned the mustard thing, but ever since I started adding it to my little meat red sauce mixture, I just can't go back. I just always gotta have it. And black olives. I think that's everything. We have salt, sugar, instant yeast. We have about 4.5 cups of flour in here, and I put some extra over there in case we need it. Yes. Reichi are the scissors. You are absolutely right. You can tell this is not his first rodeo. Here. See if you can, oh, in the bowl, baby. Now we need 3 teaspoons of sugar, and then 1.5 teaspoons of salt. Warm water. What's that mean, yo? Okay, ideally your water should be between 105 and 115 degrees Fahrenheit. You could use warm tap water. Let me check this. I don't know how much water we've put. You're supposed to put 1.5 cups. Let me take over here. Always gotta have a little bit of a sprinkle of baby sneeze in my food. The thing is that it's gonna be cooked at a high temperature. About 3 to 4 tablespoons. I'm using avocado oil. You can use olive oil too. All right, I'm using a wooden spoon to mix it before getting my hands in there. All right, add some flour to help prevent it from sticking. Ready? Sticky, right? That's why I put some flour aside to use. Exactly. Khamir is dough. Let's make some dough. Let's pull up your sleeves. Get in there. Let me give you your own piece. Okay? You work on this one. Go for it. Finish that flour. You want to switch? Let's switch. I just switched to make sure that his gets kneaded really well too. Maybe you've been doing it for 5 minutes. I don't know. I'm putting oil in that same bowl that you know where it goes. Come on. There you go. Then I just roll it around in the oil to make sure that the surface of the dough ball is covered. Cover it and put it aside. In our pan, we'll add like a tablespoon or 2 of oil, and then we can start chopping our vegetables. Some red onions. When it comes to the toppings that you use on your pizza, it is absolutely personal preference, and it's also just whatever you happen to have in your fridge. If I have zucchini and squash, I will slice that, I'll put that. If I have broccoli, I will put that. Today, these were the veggies that I had. I had like half of the yellow bell pepper and half of the green bell pepper left over. Good. What is it? And half of a red onion I had to use. Chop the onion that I'm going to be using to cook my meat. Oh, I totally forgot about my mushrooms. This little device saves me so much time, and sometimes I'm like hesitant about, I'm going to be cooking anyway, but I'm just like, oh, I'm not looking forward to chopping onions, or I'm not looking forward to chopping all those vegetables. I understand that it is a very therapeutic part of cooking, the chopping, the preparing, and everything. But when you have 2 little ones, those things that, like those, what is the word, menial tasks? Is that the word? That used to be therapeutic become stressful. So I'm grateful for this little guy. I'm gonna use fresh garlic today. I don't always, because I have garlic powder. You can use garlic powder too, but I grabbed the fresh garlic. I think the only way you can know how many times I stop and start recording is if you see the timestamp of the oven behind me, but I'm back. I really need to get one of those garlic presses. I have so many gadgets in my kitchen and I don't know why I don't have that one. Maybe I just gotten used to using this. It's like medium high. And I'm just gonna fry it all together. I'm gonna let the onions and the meat fry together so the meat soaks up as much of the onion and garlic flavor right from the get-go. And then once that browns and is nice and cooked up, I'll start adding all of these spices. I totally forgot to open up my black olives. Okay. This is not a necessity, but I have this in my house because my mother-in-law's wrists hurt really bad with a regular can opener. And once I found out that an electrical one existed where she won't have to work too hard to open up a can, I immediately bought it. Onions are starting to fry. Start breaking it apart. The reason why I don't start breaking apart the meat right away, and I just put it on high heat for a little bit, is because it starts to brown. But if you start crumbling your meat right from the get-go, it doesn't really brown. Look at that, see? That is flavor right there. We're on medium heat right now. Brought it down a little bit. But honestly, since I'm standing next to it, I don't mind cranking it up. I'm gonna go back to medium high. A teaspoon of curry powder. A friend of mine actually also gave me like a homemade curry powder, so I'm gonna add a teaspoon of that as well, just for extra flavor. 2 teaspoons. I will come wash your hands. 2 teaspoons of onion powder. I already added like fresh garlic, but I'll add another teaspoon. I'll add another teaspoon of garlic powder. Just come get a real close look at this, how it's just browning. I've kept it on this like medium high heat. All right, let's continue adding the rest of the spices. This house has a lot going on in it, so lots of interruptions. But I'm gonna add about a teaspoon of thyme. Maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon or half a teaspoon of black pepper. Now for the secret ingredients. About a tablespoon of mustard. And 2 tablespoons of ketchup. You don't have to put marinara sauce if you don't like your pizza too tomatoey, like saucy, but I like it. You know what I almost always forget? This is why it's important to taste it. Salt. I'm gonna add a teaspoon and a half of salt. I still have it on like medium-high heat so that as much of the liquid can just be cooked off. I don't want it to be a soggy pizza, so the drier this gets, the better. Full of flavor. Oh my God, your mom's gonna. Our pizza dough has risen. Look at that. Jiggly. It needs at least 30 minutes, but ours has just been sitting there for a while. I'm gonna grease these. They're non-stick. Technically, I don't need to grease it, but I do. Oh, você cojadas. Poke it around a little bit. And split it in 2. super soft and fluffy and pliable, and just kind of work with it a little bit more. Not as much as we did in the beginning. Roll it into a ball. Okay. I'm going to use one for each pan. This side. I use my knuckles to just kind of start spreading it out. It snaps back. Like I said, I'm not a bread making expert or a pizza dough making expert, but all I know is that when I start putting the toppings on it and I keep pressing it down in between like each layer, it stays stretched out. Okay. We use a fork to poke holes all the way through the dough. So we're gonna just put a little bit of ketchup as the first layer. Spread it a little bit. Sprinkle the cheese in the middle and then start to spread it around the dough from there. Okay, so now we have about a cup and a half of cheese spread between these two pizzas. And now you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Like every time you add a layer, just kind of push it down, push it into the pizza dough and keep spreading it. Okay, now I'm gonna put some meat and then you're gonna put the toppings for me, okay?
Yeah.
Ready to add the toppings?
Yeah.
Get it in there. You guys see what I mean? Like now that there's toppings on it and you start to push it down, it stays more in place. Added our spinach, kale, and Swiss chard. We can save the rest for omelet in the morning tomorrow. You're doing a good job. Let's mix it. Let's spread it, and then push it. Make it big.
Big. Little. No,
No, we don't want it little. Time to sprinkle some more cheese on. This is some leftover cheese that he was snacking on. I'm just gonna put it in here. This is not part of the recipe. Oh goodness. Maybe. That was a little bit too much. Lots of veggies, lots of cheese, thick crust. All right. Looks good?
Looks good.
These bad boys are ready to go into the oven. Preheated to 425. And we'll let it bake for about 15 minutes and check on it. I have them both towards the middle. Okay. We'll check on it in 15 minutes. Okay, the timer just went off. Alright, let's get in there. I'm just switching the top to the bottom and the bottom to the top, and let's give it 5 more minutes. 5 minutes is coming on. Okay, Mama. Stand back, Mommy. It's hot, baby.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very hot. You don't want to burn yourself.
Wow.
It's perfect.
Cool.
It's just starting to crisp up and brown on the top. I don't want it to be overly cooked because then whenever we have slices that we reheat, it'll just be super dried out. But this is perfect. Thank you. You want to close the door? Okay. Now the tough part. My husband's going to slice it and then we'll go to the table and enjoy.
I see it. Wow.
Wow. Yeah, you think it looks good?
Cute cut.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. ازم به حضور شما که به 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 به.
Gotta have it with the ketchup.
سس کچاپ قشنگ میریزی روش، کم نه زیاد. Very good.
نوش
خیلی
جان.
خوب.
نوش جان. Oh, kicking it. Mama Dani, is it very good? It's very good?
Very good.
نوش جان. Baby approved.